at BigBadToyStore.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the video review of Transformers Generations Brainstorm. I got this figure a little bit early thanks to a private seller out west. He sold it to me for a very reasonable fee, and I got it for free shipping, so I was able to get the figure a little bit early. Now, I want to stipulate this review with there are some real problems with this figure, and this guy was not opened. This was brand new in the box. We'll be talking about the issues that I have with this figure as we go through the review, but here's the figure in robot mode, and I think it looks quite good in robot mode. There is a problem with the head, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but overall posability and overall look of the robot mode is quite good. The colorings are G1 accurate, and it, as I said, looks good. Quality control of this figure is problematic, even in robot mode. There are chips and mars all over the plastic, especially the light blue plastic, and the pins on some of the parts of the figure are much too loose. Here on the wrist, there is a pin back here on the back of the arm that sometimes is very, very loose, sometimes isn't. It's kind of strange, depending on how the arm is hanging. Overall, though, it stands pretty well, doesn't have any problem with posability, and it's got a lot of character to it. The figure sports 21 points of articulation, and you can get some decent poses out of him, but you do have to be wary that his posability is a little bit limited in the hips due to the skirts there, the side skirts and the front skirt. They do move on hinges, and you can get them out of the way for most poses, but they only go so far with movement. The arms have multiple points of articulation that make the figure very posable, and overall it looks good in robot mode. My biggest problem with the figure is that its primary feature, the Headmaster gimmick, flat out does not work. What you are supposed to do is open up the chest and pull down on this piece right here. So according to the directions, you open up the chest, flip out his meter, and it snaps into place. Then you're supposed to, but it also pops down again. You're supposed to push down on this section here, and then it's supposed to unlock the head. Unfortunately, mine broke right off. So I was trying to be very, very careful with this when I was playing with it initially, but the plastic that connects the head to this little screw here is so soft that very minimal amount of force popped the head right off. The reason the gimmick doesn't work on my figure is because you're supposed to push down on this bit, and it's supposed to free the head of the Headmaster. But as you can see, if you're watching this little piece right where my fingernail is touching, that piece is not actually falling down far enough in order to free the robot head of the Headmaster. It's still clamping onto the head. And just a little bit of force. Now, I might have used too much force. I'm not going to lie. I was a little frustrated, but I didn't use that much force, but I might have just used too much for the tolerances of the toy. Popped the Headmaster head clean off. I could still put it back on because the screw threads still fit in there, so I could still use the figure, but the Headmaster gimmick flat out doesn't work on my figure. Is this systemic of all Brainstorm figures? No idea. I hope not, but this is the problem that I am running into. So I'm actually following the directions exactly. I'm supposed to push this down, and it's supposed to free the head for you to pull it up. Doesn't work so well on mine. So here we have the headless Headmaster unit. It's not that big. It's about the same size as the Fans Project Smart Robin Headmaster unit, which we have right here. And if I had his head, they would probably be around the same height. However, the Fans Project one, I feel, is much, much better. We have the side of the figure here being the hands, and good luck trying to actually do anything with this. Because, yeah, you've got some molding inside, and there is some paint, but there's not much happening with this figure. Transformation is very simple. Push the arms down, and then fold up the legs. And, yeah, that's it. Nothing else to it. Here's Brainstorm's Headmaster next to Smart Robin, and they actually both look good. I actually like the Hasbro one a little better, though. Brainstorm's transformation into vehicle mode is very simple. To start off with, we will reach into the forearms behind the hands and open up panels that allow the hands to flip up into the forearms. Then spread the legs out pretty darn far and reach around the back and unpeg the nose cone of the jet mode, which does peg into place. So flip that around and snap that into place while also moving the legs out of the way. Then come down to the legs, which you get this little Gerwalk mode of, and open up the shins and fold the feet up into the shins. Then snap the legs straight down and push them kind of out of the way. And when you do that, when you turn the legs, that actually pushes or will allow the nose cone to come more forward. And eventually, you'll be able to slide it up over the top of the hips, snap it into place. And the back of the legs will peg into the back of the figure. The last part of the transformation is going to involve the arms, and they are to be turned around 180 degrees and then folded up underneath the shoulders like that. And then they will peg into these little peg holes on the outside of the legs. And sometimes that's a little bit harder to do or get them pegged in than it sounds. You just got to fiddle with it and slide things around until it's pegged into place. Then flip up these tail fins and flip out the landing gear and attach the nose cone cannons. Like so. And here we go. The jet mode actually looks really, really nice. It kind of reminds me of the R-Wing from Star Fox. Overall, the jet mode is pretty cool. As I said, it's a nice homage to the jet mode of Brainstorm is a really nice homage to the original G1 figure and greatly reminds me of R-Wings from the Star Fox universe. But it is definitely an homage to the original G1 mold. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of nice lines and it just looks really cool. And just a quick size comparison with some other Generations figures for you. As you can see, Brainstorm seems to be taller than Roadbuster and Blitzwing. That's a pretty big figure, and wing size, he's about up there with Skybite. My final thoughts on the figure are thus. It's a whole lot of fun. It just has a crappy, unworking gimmick, at least on my figure. Now, at the time of this recording, I am the only one that I know of who has gotten a hold of this guy. There are other folks or other reviewers on YouTube who are just getting a hold of it. As I'm recording this, P.A. just got his delivered, so I'm waiting to see what the other reviewers find out as far as the Headmaster gimmick. Is this worth picking up? If the Headmaster problem is mine alone or is spotty, like some folks have it and some folks don't have it, it is worth picking up, but I would wait for the Takara version and spend a little more money. The Hasbro version is fine, but that Headmaster gimmick on mine, as you saw, just flat out doesn't work. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video review. I am Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and as usual, I will catch you next time. So just a very quick follow-up to the video review, guys. After talking to P.A. over on Twitter and some other folks, I discovered that the reason the head was stuck and the reason the gimmick didn't work on my figure was actually due to an assembly error. In all honesty, they put the head in wrong. The problem with my figure was during assembly, you're supposed to just put the head in so the back of the head snaps into place. My issue was they put the head in and the clip that normally pegs into the back of the head here where the tip of my fingernail is was actually up over onto the back of the neck, which you saw in the video review. So with a toothpick to push the latch back and act as leverage and a pair of needle nose pliers, I was able to get my figure out. Now I am going to be able to repair this unit as I'm going to have to completely unassemble the Headmaster here and replace the head on the screw and glue that into place and maybe do some other little fixings and some painting here and there. But I just wanted to make you guys aware that it looks like my issue was an assembly error and not an error or not a general error with the figure itself or the release of the figure. Just be aware of the slight assembly error. Don't force it. Get a toothpick and a pair of pliers and just pull it up and pop it out using like leverage and whatnot, as opposed to what I did, which was just try to pull a little harder, and well, disaster happened.